Hi guys, today we're going to be explaining to you the Inbody Scan and how to read it. So all this information at the top here, you can see this is all pretty simple information. Your ID is just so that we know who you are the next time you come in, and at the bottom here you can see that there's a history, so it will tell you whether your weight's going up, whether your muscle mass is going up or down, and whether your percentage of body fat is going up and down. So we just make sure that you always know what your ID is. We usually take your mobile number, but it can vary depending on what the person wants. So the next bit down is your body composition. This is where it breaks all of your information down for you. So the first one is total body water. This is how much water is in your body in litres. And as you can see on the side here, you've got these little brackets next to the number. This means that what the ideal is for a person of this height, okay? So it goes by the height of the person. So this person, it recommends 27 to 33 litres of water, and they have 26.5. So they're slightly under, but that's just basically a reading for an average, okay? So the next one down is your protein in kilos. So this is 7.2 kilos of protein. Basically, if you take all your muscles, you wring all the water out of them, this would be what would be remaining. So the muscle mass itself without anything in it would be about 7.2 kilos, or the full protein in the body. The next one down is your minerals. So this person has 2.64 kilos of minerals in their body. This is everything like your trace minerals, everything that's roaming around the body that doesn't involve your water, your fat, or your muscle content. The next one down underneath that is your body fat mass. So this is how much your fat in your body weighs at this present time. So as you can see, this person has 22.8 kilos of fat, but for their averages, they're slightly over, and which we'll see in the graph down here in a minute, but I'll explain that in a minute. And last one is your weight, which is basically your whole body combined, everything, hair, skin, nails, muscle, absolutely everything combined together. If we move down from there, you'll see that you've got your muscle fat analysis, okay? So these are all the bar graphs. You've got the under range here, which is a line there. You've got the normal range here and a line there, and you've got the over range after that. So basically the weight of this person, it's saying that they're in a normal range. So 59.1 kilos is within a normal range for this person's height. The skeletal muscle mass in kilos, this one is saying that it's actually under. So they could actually do with putting a bit more muscle mass on, which I'll show you over here in a minute. And then the last one is the kilos in body fat. It's saying that they're quite high in kilos of body fat. If you can notice here, I'll just zoom in so that you can see. Basically, the little numbers above each one of these is going to indicate the percentages down here on these little people down here in a minute. So I'll describe that to you in a minute. Basically, this person's what we call a C shape. So if you look at a C shape, that basically means that they're okay or over in the weight, they're slightly low in muscle, and they're over in the fat. So it gives them a C shape to their reading. What you want to try and achieve is at least an I shape where you can get everything in line, and then you want to try and get towards a D shape. Now these all depend on how you want your body to look. The more muscular you are, the more of a D shape you will have. The more, if you want a more curvy body, then you're going to be more towards an I shape, or you may even be slight C shape, just a slight C shape, depending on how you want your body to be. There is no exact right way, it's just the way that you want it to be. The next one down is your obesity analysis. The first thing there is BMI. We ignore BMI altogether. It only works on specific people, and it is an average for a government statistic, so we don't use it. But you can have a look into it if you want to. We just don't use it, so I'm not even going to describe it here. Basically, if you look at all of the rugby players, majority of them would be obese or morbidly obese based on a BMI, and they're not. They're mostly muscular, so that's why we don't use these things here. Your body fat analysis, your body fat percentage, so PBF, your percentage of body fat, is your next one down here. Again, you've got the under, normal, and over ranges. This person is quite high, so they're 38.6% body fat. This is quite high in the range for this person's height. As you can see there, just getting inside normal for this person is 28%. So this one's quite high. They'd want to try and bring that down a bit, which we'll see later on why with the waist to hip ratio and visceral fat levels. So as you can see for the segmental lean muscle mass here, it's got your lean mass, your percentage, and your evaluation. So it states here that you've got how many kilos in your left leg and right leg, same with your left arm, right arm, and your core mass here. The percentages in here indicate whether you should be over or normal. As this is just a test analysis, they've just put numbers and figures. This isn't basically anybody's actual test. This is just a test one that you can print out so you can see how it all looks. If you look here, you've got basically 92.1% and normal. If you come up here, it's got that the segmental lean muscle mass normal range is within 90, okay? So if we draw a line down there, it'll come down to 90. Normal, 92.1, that means they're inside the normal range, and 85.3 and 86.5 is under that, so that's saying that they're under. The same with this segmental fat over here. It's saying that the upper body is over, but the lower body is normal. And the reasons for that, if you again look, you can see that you've got 152.5% and 151.8. If you bring that down to that normal range, anything under 160 would be classified as normal for this person. However, their arms and center mass are over. And you can see that they carry a majority of their weight in their core mass because it is right over the top. Their core mass is right up here at 230. So that's where they would basically probably lose weight last, but it doesn't necessarily mean that is the case, but that's majority of the case. Wherever you tend to have a lot more weight is usually where you'll lose it last as far as fat is concerned. Moving on from there, your body composition history, we explained that earlier. It just basically, when you give us your ID, it will basically print out whether you're gaining or losing weight as you go along for each individual scan and give you the time and date down here. The next one along is your Inbody score. Basically, if you are 70 or above, you're going good. If you are 80 and above, you're going really well. But you can actually get over 100 on this score. So it says out of 100, but you can actually get 110, 120. This all depends on how healthy you are as far as muscle mass is concerned. So the more muscle mass that you have on you, the higher this will be, providing you don't have fat in the wrong areas. But if you are quite a muscular person, you're going to have quite a high body score here. The next one is weight control. This is telling you what your target weight should be. It is telling you how many kilos you need to lose, how much fat in kilos you need to lose, and how much muscle you need to gain. This, again, you can look into as just seeing what you roughly need to do, but do not take this as gospel, okay? It does not mean that this person here, because they're 59.1, they need to lose 6.1 kilos of full weight and become 53 kilos. It's just saying if they want to bring their target weight down, these are designed for hospital grade scales. So this is so they can get people back to healthy. But again, you may want to add a lot more muscle. You may want to add like 6 kilos of muscle, which means that this weight would actually go up, and then you would be disappointed if you follow the exact thing here. It all depends on where you want your body to be. So don't take this as gospel. It's just a roundabout figure, particularly for people who are on the obese side and want to try and come back down. But again, it's not exact. It is rough to show you where you want to try and come back down to roughly, so that you are within a healthy range. BMI, again, totally ignore. It says this person's normal, but ignore it. It all depends on the individual for that one. The next one under that is your percentage of body fat. Normal, slightly over or over. The obesity evaluation for this person is saying they're over, and that's because they had a very high body fat percentage. So this one you want to take note of, and if it is in the over stage, you want to try and get it down to slightly over or back to normal. So with the hip to waist ratio here, this person's got 0.91. As we can see, they're female. So this person here would be in a high risk category for health based on their hip to waist ratio only, okay? So what is recommended here is for a lady, anything 0.8 or below is at a low risk for health. Low risk as in good health. Anything between 0.81 to 0.85 is classified as a moderate risk, and anything 0.85 and above for a female is classified as a high risk with their health. So you want to try and bring this one down to at least a 0.85 or lower for a female. For a male, it's slightly higher. So the hip to waist ratio, if this was a male, would actually be in the healthy weight range. So for a male, it's 0.95 or below. For low risk, for a moderate risk, it's 0.96 to 1, and for a high risk, it's 1 or above. So this person's actually within a healthy weight range if it was a male, but because it's female, they are actually in the high risk category here. The next one is your visceral fat level. This is the amount of fat that you carry in your center mass that's around your organs. Anything above a 10, you're classified as not being as healthy as you should be, and you should try and get this number below a 10 minimum. So you definitely want this to be coming down at least one level for her visceral fat. But if this was down at around about a 5, that'd be fine. If it was 9 or 10, again, it's fine. 11 is just over, but it will be starting to affect this person. So you want to make sure that you bring that down below a 10. The next one that we've got here is the research parameters. So fat-free mass. Fat-free mass is basically if you take everything, all the fat out of your body, this is how much you would weigh. So this person weighs 59.1 kilos, but if they take all the fat out, they're going to weigh 36.3. And that's simply this number taken away this number is going to give you that. Your basal metabolic rate, you may have heard the term your BMR. This is how many calories that you could eat in a sedentary state. So if you were just doing nothing all day, these are how many calories that you would need just to survive and just to be stay exactly the same as you are now. And this is based on your height and weight at that point in time. Your obesity degree, you want to keep these within these ranges or below. Okay, so this one's quite, it's just outside the ranges, but you want to make sure that you're bringing them inside those ranges so that you're not sitting high or over on this obesity evaluation here. Your recommended calorie intake, this is how many calories that they recommend for this person, this height, if they want to get down to this. Okay, again, we don't work with calories. The reason being is because we believe that if you've got nutrient-dense food and it is good food, it will bring your weight down in the right way and bring your muscle mass up in the right way. So we basically, we don't agree totally with this. It may be right depending on the person, but it's going to bring you down to where your weight control needs to be, and you don't need to worry about that unless you're trying to get down to a specific weight, and which we don't recommend anyway. We recommend that you go by how you want to look rather than what weight you are. And that's why we do these, so that you can differentiate between your fat, your muscle, and your actual weight. The next one down is the calorie expenditure. So if you did any of these exercises here for half an hour, it's saying that you'd burn these many calories. Again, this depends on how quick you're moving. If you're walking at a slow pace, you're going to burn less calories than if you're speed walking. So it's just basically an average based on your current weight and based on the 30-minute duration of an average sort of badminton contest, average golf, average tennis. So again, it's an average. Don't take that as gospel, but that's the rough estimate. If you want to know any more information, you can just scan this QR code into a QR scanner on your phone, and it'll take you to a website that explains everything. On the back of this, there's also information that you can get as well. And the last little bit down here is the impedance. So this is just how much electricity went through your right arm, left arm, your trunk, your right leg, and your left leg in order to get these results. I hope that's helped out a heap there, guys. If you've got any questions, then obviously you can let us know, but that's everything about the scan and how it operates. Thanks.